Welcome back. Well, it certainly feels unsettled out there today. I mean, there's some active weather now in the state.
It's our first taste of summertime humidity, I would say. We're building in the warmth as well, but so far, no storms in central Iowa. What we do have is in the northwestern portion of the state. That's set at weather level 3 and 4 on the severe weather outlook in central and northern Iowa, respectively. We're tracking threats of tornadoes, hail, and wind, I'd say, through 11 o'clock. Highest on the list, tornadoes and hail, followed by that wind. Not looking at a flash flooding scenario here overall, but that threat is conditional. We need those storms to actually fire, and there is some uncertainty that surrounds whether or not we can actually get that done. 78 right now, building in the humidity. You can feel that little bit. Southwest wind at 23 sustained. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s, clearing over western Iowa, getting a late day pop. So the warmth and humidity is there. There's a couple of issues we're running into. Checking out the satellite and radar picture up there in northwestern Iowa is where those storms currently are. See that boundary extending to the south there? There's actually a bit of a dry line. Now it's pushed its way a little bit further to the east here, but the problem is those winds are running quasi-parallel with it. And that means we're lacking convergence, and we aren't quite triggering those thunderstorms to billow up despite having the energy. And there's actually the cap that has eroded as well. Now, I do think there's a window between about 7 and 9 o'clock where we can get that done. We can get a couple of those storms to build up, and that's why a recent tornado watch has been put in effect for many communities in central Iowa. So what is a cap? Well, when we don't have one, think of a hot air balloon. You warm it up, it rises all the way to the top. But if we do have a cap, there's a section in the atmosphere that's a little bit warmer than the air below it, and that basically puts a lid on the atmosphere, and that balloon has a hard time pumping its way through it unless we add more warmth and moisture to it or we remove that cap. Problem is right now, I just don't think we have the trigger to send those storms up. That said, this conditional threat is so immense that we do have that precautionary tornado watch in place until midnight tonight. Storms up there in northwestern Iowa are severe, and we're going to be tracking that activity for you. Again, watch between 7 and 9. See how we actually do start to get this done. There's a couple little ripples in the atmosphere that promote some of that upward movement, and we get a couple of those storms to briefly fire before it runs into a redeveloping cap. So I'm going to be here tracking things very closely as we go through prime time in 10 o'clock and keep you updated as warranted.
And we want to make sure you stay safe with whatever comes our way, especially if you're heading out tonight, you have anything to do. Local 5's Alex Fulton is out in our storm tracker monitoring those road conditions for us. And Alex, where are you right now? What are you seeing?
Hey Stephanie, well, we're on I-35 just a few miles north of Ames in Story County, and this is actually one of the counties that is under that tornado watch that Chris just mentioned. He talked about the potential threat of tornadoes, gusts of wind, and hail, and it's probably a good idea to leave work early if you can this evening. If you're heading out of work, I want to show you what we're seeing right now. Again, it's sunny outside. Hard to believe that we could potentially see some of that severe weather tonight, but again, this county here in Story County is under that tornado watch until midnight tonight. Back to you, Stephanie.
All right, thank you so much. Hey, Chris is everywhere tonight. He's watching the system for you, and he's updating us and keeping it all under one roof here, it feels like.
Yeah, constantly tracking the situation.
Constantly.
There's nothing imminent in central Iowa right now. I mentioned those question marks surrounding if it can get going. It really is an either-or scenario we're tracking. There's a look at that setup as we updated that dry line, and we're going to be back taking a look ahead beyond tonight with your forecasts coming up next.